Welcome back to MyFIntelligence. Well, this is the part 2 of our 2-part series with Mr. Zarouk. If you haven't checked out part 1 yet, make sure to click on that one before you watch this video, but let's get into it. Mr. Zarouk, now I wanted to move to the independent network. I wanted to know what were some of the transferable skills from the asset management side into the independent network, and what were some of the challenges? How did you adapt?
I'll be honest with you, I'm still adapting. It's been 8 months, and with COVID, so I started in the first week of COVID. I don't know if there's such a thing as the first week of COVID, but it was an interesting. But again, it makes you agile, makes you think on your feet, and so far so good. So knock on wood, it's been a great trade. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not going to make this complicated. Business development, it's about people. I'm in the people business. So whether you're in investment, you're in custody, or you're in anything else, at the end of the day, it comes down to trying to understand what drives people, what makes them tick, like what makes them wake up in the morning. It makes it easier for us as sales professionals, or as professionals in general, to cater to our clients, to cater to them what they need. And it's tricky because, believe it or not, people don't just voluntarily come and tell you what they need, what drives them there. So it takes skills to drill, to have a conversation, to ask a lot of questions, and to listen. The key is listening. Listening is how to ask those questions. And we train our staff on the type of questions that you ask. Give you an example. When you're in a discovery meeting, it's always good to use open-end questions instead of yes/no questions. Why is that? Because when you ask yes/no questions, you don't allow people to tell you exactly how they think. When you ask open-ended questions, you allow them to elaborate. And as a good listener, you sit down and you kind of figure, okay, this is what, and you validate, and you always validate, to make sure that you are obviously in. So that's kind of what I'll be honest with you. The transferable skills are mostly soft, a little bit of soft, a little bit of hard, but it comes down to people, right? It's people do business with the people they trust. People do business with people they like. These are two elements of any commercial relationship. If you don't have these two elements, it's technically near to impossible to make a deal. Because if I don't trust the person I'm dealing business with, I'm not going to give them a chance. And even if I trust them and there is a likability factor that is not there, it could obviously hinder the process.
So evidently, client relationship is a really big part of sales. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, about how you kind of interact with your clients in order for them to trust you, how you find these clients, and also how do you maintain this relationship?
Let's start with how to find clients, right? How to find clients. I would call it how to prospect. I'll use a bit of the business terms here. How do you prospect? There's a variety of things of prospecting, right? There is the cold call prospecting, which is the old school way of kind of picking up the phone and trying to basically pick up the phone and call, hey, my name is Hatem, I'm calling from National Bank. I recently joined the region. I would love to meet you and kind of understand your business, Pretty simple. Chances are you're going to probably get 20 no's, but you might get one yes. So it's an activity game. That's number one. That's lesson number one. Sales are about activity. The more you do, the higher chances you get results. That's number one. Number two is we strongly believe in pipeline management in sales. Pipeline management is as simple as today, if I'm trying to, let's say if I'm starting a brand new at the firm and I have no client base. The first thing I will do, I'm start basically just calling all the investment advisors in my region, try to introduce myself. Chances are, probably 80 to 85% of them, they say, sorry, we're not interested. The market is so hyper competitive, but you get that 15% that actually might give you a chance to talk with you. And that's all you need. That's all I need. Personally, that's all I need. I just need that contact. Because that's the first step. The first step is establishing contact. The second step is once I establish the contact, then understanding their needs. And that's how we start developing it. So first of all, establish contact and understand the need. Because these are the two important things. Because mostly what happens is once you understand the need of the client, then you can go back and say, guess what? I can help him or I cannot help him, because in my toolbox, I have enough products to help him get where he wants, or I don't have so that helps you reduce your pipeline a little bit less and less. And then you qualify up until to get to the final 2 or 3 clients who are able to do business with you. And it's an activity game, and rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. There's no magic magic to it. It's just an activity game, and it's key to be organized and to have a process. Because if you don't have a process in sales, then you have a tough time kind of articulating your value, and you have time to closing your sales cycle. Because the sales cycle, it could be a month, it could be 2 years. How you shorten it, how you make it long, depending on your technique and depending on how you manage your business. And are you methodical? Do you follow up? Follow up is key. I remember when we talked earlier on, when I was early on building my region, I'm a cold caller, by the way. I love the phone. So I love to pick up the phone and just call people and, get to know. I'm always curious, how did you get successful? Because you can use those best practices and utilize it yourself, and that's where the relationship becomes more of a partnership when you're talking with a client. I'll be honest with you, the best parenting tips I receive from my clients, because they share stuff with you, and vice versa. You share with them. That's how you build the relationship. So going back to, it's an activity game. That's basically how it's activity, it's process. And I remember when I started, true story, you call someone's like, hey, my name is Hatem, I'm calling from National Bank. I'd love to introduce myself. I'm the new guy in the region. I saw your name on my list. They own, let's say, money market with us. I was like, yeah, I just wanted to come and introduce myself. And basically, we're not interested, until you get someone who's got interested. But basically, not interested, meaning that they said, no, not now. And that's the key, that the message that I wanted to drive in with you. No in sales means not yet or not now. That doesn't mean that no forever. And the minute you start looking at no that way, then it changes the game. Because, okay, not now, okay, that's fine. When should I follow up with you? And I truly tell people, and I have clients telling me, like prospects telling me, hey, call me in 6 months. Fine, call you in 6 months. I have a CRM system. I put a follow-up note to 6 months. 6 months on the dot. I have a reminder, comes up, pick up the phone. Hey, Samar, I called you 6 months later, and you promised me to call you 6 months. There's 2 things that happen here. Number one, this wow factor. It's like, did I? It's like, yeah, you did. It's like, okay. So now all of a sudden they start looking at you differently. Okay, I'm dealing with someone who's methodical. He's not pushy, and he's organized. And that's how you start building that relationship. And because the minute the prospects start respecting the way you operate, they'll give you time of the day. They'll give you a chance. And that's all you want. You want that chance. Because once you get that chance, you present yourself professionally. You do your homework, of course. It's key to leverage social media today. Before you go to a meeting, it's key for us to understand our clients. Google them up. Share their website. Share their LinkedIn account. Who's are they connected to? See if you have common connections. And call your common connections to get some intel. Maybe even call them to get some introductions. I do it all the time. Someone I want to get introduced to, I look them up on LinkedIn. I see who I have in connection in common. And based on the connection in common, if I'm really, really close to them, pick up the phone. It's like, hey, so-and-so I want to connect with. Can you please help me out? And they'll be able to tell you, whether, yeah, I'll be more than happy to make an introduction, or they'll tell you, guess what? I don't have that kind of relationship with them. But this is all the small techniques to help you get what you want, right? And then that's how you build the pipeline. 2 years later, you get all of these people who are not, I call them the not yet or the not now. All of a sudden, you have like probably 50 of them. And that's how you pipeline. And you just keep following up. And you keep following up. Eventually, something is going to come out. As long as you keep at it, right? I don't know if I answered your questions or not, right? So you tell me.
You did, and you definitely changed my perspective on the no. I used to get so down on the no's, and then no just means not yet. And with every no, it's just you're one step closer, and I love that. That was amazing. I guess, Mr. Zarouk, we're coming to the end of our time, but one final advice for somebody who wants to be you in 10 years. They go about it.
I don't think that's a good thing to be me if you want to keep your hair. But I'll be honest with you. again, I told you guys, I am graded, so the odds were against me. As you know, you move your whole life, right? Like you basically you're hitting the reset button. Um, and one of the main reason why I've been able to grow in my career is by mentorship. Mentorship was key. I've been lucky enough to have so many people in my career, and still have them in my life today, that they help me out. Because the task is a difficult task, and we live in a hyper-competitive environment, and everyone wants to grow. And there's two ways of doing it. Either you can try to figure out yourself, or what I call do some R&D, rob and duplicate. If somebody already done the trajectory and done the journey, and they're good at it, just ask them whether it worked for them. And you don't have to reinvent the wheel. That saves you time. And mentorship and coaching is key on that, right? Like people can help you, guide you, because we do get stuck sometimes in our thinking process, and the mentors, and they help you kind of get outside of that. So that my advice is, don't be shy to ask for help and to seek mentorship. It's key. If you want to go in your career, it's key to work with someone who's already done the journey or been there before, and identify those key individuals, and be open to feedback, because a lot of people, they think they're open for feedback, but when it comes down to the real feedback, a lot of people, they just don't like to hear. They don't like to hear stuff that they don't want to hear. And it's key to sometimes to kind of take a step back and think of this kind of the feedback. The way I look at it when we try to give feedback to our staff, to our employees, to my colleagues, is think of it as like the post-game, environment where you play the game, now you're watching the video of the game. And that video of the game allows you to see what went well and other things that didn't know well. When you think of it that way, it's like, okay, so now, that's going to help me improve. And you see it, all sports teams, whether you're a basketball fan, or you're in fighting, or whatever, or you're soccer, all the teams, part of their training, after the game, they watch the game. And especially when they lose, and when they win too, they do it both ways. Why is that? Because they want to make sure that they have no blind spots. And that's what mentorship is and feedback is for. It allows us to minimize our blind spots, so we don't make mistakes. Blind spots, if we don't check them, they will get us to mistakes, and mistakes slow us down.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Zarouk, for this interview. We learned so much from you, and we really hope that everyone watching did as well. And if you'd like to watch any more interviews about other possible career paths, head on over to myfintelligence.com, where we have many more interviews that you can watch and learn from. Thank you so much.